first impressions of Act 2, it's looking pretty abysmal, to be completely honest. There are a lot of really questionable decisions. Now, going through the stuff, obviously there's the new characters, which, I mean, I will say Hellhest and Rossi do look pretty interesting. I don't really know how this is gonna, if there's gonna be any significant portion of power creep. Can't really tell. I mean, she does have a pretty interesting kit. I do like the fact that she has some heavy ammo generation built in. I haven't really had the time to properly test her on a meta perspective though. Same thing with Rossi 11, but I do like both their kits, especially Rossi 11's. I just wish I was able to get Rossi 11 instead of another 9 Finalis from this banner. It is honestly a drag, okay? However, the other things that were set to release with this update were the loot events, alright? And I already wasn't really, like, super stoked about them. I mean, it was basically just, like, 2 challenge events where it's, like, complete some basic objectives. Like, it's essentially just a login event. And sure, you get a couple of clusters, you get some minor amount of other rewards. It's decent for what it is, but for this being one of the only extra things to do for the update is kind of a drag. However, when we get to the Hellhest upgrade event, this is where some of the big issues start popping up. So obviously, you know, you've got some rewards to level up Hellhest. You know, you get like some of the Royal Contravene shards to focus the engram, and also, you know, leveling her up. It's basically similar thing. Okay, so some of the shards are locked behind buying her ornaments, buying her skins. So you're gonna be missing out on these shards. You can only get a maximum of 120. So if you don't buy her skins, you aren't going to be able to get all of them. But if we go to the main section of the rewards, the featured rewards, okay, you can only get these by spending up to 240 pulls on Hellhest's banner and also maxing out T6ing her. If you just get Hellhest and just level her up, do nothing else, you can't even focus 1 Royal Contravene. You get 30, half of what you need. In order to get the rest of them, you would need to pull another 60 times. Like, granted, if you hit pity, you would need to pull another 60 times, up to 120, just to be able to focus 1 Royal Contravene. And if you want to focus 2, and if you want to get the actual good rewards from this event, like the incandescence clusters, exotic weapon infusion cores, catalyst chests, more incandescence clusters, a lot more artifactual essences that we've seen in any of the other events, and exotic mod choice chests, you need to max out Hellhest. You need to wail on this banner in order to get any of the rewards from this event. This event is basically useless to anybody who is not already spending money on this game. It's baffling to me. It's honestly baffling. Now, they did also release some new artifacts, and I have taken a look at them. Okay, and I'm just gonna say straight up, these artifacts are not really any better than what we've already had, which is kind of saying something because most of the artifacts effects in this game are already kind of terrible. Firing Axion, it's extremely specific. You have to be affected by a healing over time and a damage bonus effect, and it's only effective against damage that's taken from more than 15 meters away. Really niche. I mean, it's a first slot one, so there's not really that many amazing, outstanding damage resistance artifacts in the first slot. It's just so restrictive in its usage that I can't really say that it's any good at all. Resonating Axion, when the wielders healed over time by their own abilities, healing received is increased by 4.2% for 6 seconds, stacking 5 times. A maximum of 1 stack can be gained every 2 seconds. This is also just like really niche. It's only for healing over time effects, and it's only an increase to the amount of healing that you received, that you have to receive like really constant healing. So if you drop your healing over time effect, you lose all the stacks. And it's a second slot one. Do you want to know what's a much better second slot artifact that requires healing? Right here, Ring of Conversion. Why would you not just use Ring of Conversion? It's gonna be such a more potent effect. It basically doubles your effective health bar. It has the same restrictions as Resonating Axiom and like essentially the same use cases, because you would pretty much only want to have Ring of Conversion if you have that much active regular healing sources. It's just, why would you ever use this over Ring of Conversion? Okay, then we get to Confined Axiom right here. When a combatant is confined, they take higher long-range weapon damage from the wielder for the next 10 seconds. It's a 20-meter restriction or a 30-meter restriction. So it's up to almost a 60% damage increase at 30 meters while they're confined. And I mean, I will say it's a pretty high damage bonus, but like, again, with the range restrictions as well, it's just going to make it a lot more difficult to proc for how potent it is. And again, you do have to confine targets as well. So it's kind of like Hawkeye token, but even more restrictive. And I already didn't like Hawkeye token for how restrictive it was, especially because there's going to be so many engagements in this game where you are going to be focused into close quarters regardless. So I'd say it's niche at best. But then we get to this one right here, United Axiom. Now, I will say, thankfully, this does not seem to be working as intended or working as described. And you'll probably not ever hear me say that about anything else in this game, but like, if we take a look at this, deal 140% weapon damage while affected by allied damage bonus effects. And this can only be equipped on Tantu, Hellhest, and Atal because it's hard-coded to not work on anybody else. So if this was working as intended, this would be more than triple the damage bonus compared to like the next best thing in the slot 3. Because the only other thing you can compare it to is Calming Token, which is a 46% damage increase. Yeah, 46% damage bonus. So if this was working as described, which currently it isn't, it doesn't seem to be really doing much. I'm getting like maybe a 5% damage increase. But regardless of if the way it's working right now is the intended or if the way it's described is intended, it's terrible each way, because like one way it's niche and not powerful artifact, and the other way is that it's a niche and completely oppressive damage bonus. Either one is just not good for the game regardless, because we don't need more bad artifacts. I mean, if we take a look at the spreadsheet, obviously I updated it. So many of these artifacts just are either like niche, only usable on a couple characters, or just straight up terrible. And if we take a look at the new one, we've got like a bad one, a niche one, and I don't know yet. That's not really all the stuff that I have to talk about, because we also have to talk about the transition between Act 1 and Act 2. What's different? How is the stuff that was exclusive to Act 1 going to be going forward? And one of the biggest things that people were asking about was what is going to happen to Furies 3. Now, I will say, Furies 3 is still available in the Battle Pass exotic shop for 60 Battle Pass weapon tokens. So that means if you missed the previous Battle Pass, you would have to get 240 Battle Pass tokens. Now, you already don't get 100, even if you get the Enhanced Battle Pass. If you get the $10 Battle Pass, you get 70, which isn't even enough to get all the copies of Trinity Ghoul. And also, I just want to say, I am super upset that Trinity Ghoul is the Battle Pass weapon. This is a 6-year-old weapon. It literally has like 0 development costs other than just porting it over. And it costs $35 to max it out because it takes $10 to get the 70 tokens and the 2 copies from the Battle Pass. And you have to spend another $15 to get the last 30 tokens from the black market. So let's say you're somebody who missed out on Furies 3, okay? You didn't get the Enhanced Battle Pass, you only got like 1 copy, or maybe you started playing late and you want to get Furies 3, okay? So you would have to go to the black market, you'd have to go to the black market special, and you would have to buy this 24 times, and it costs 50,000 black market tokens. And black market tokens, you would only be able to get that much from purchasing it with silver. So that means it would be 500 silver per purchase. And I already did the math on this already, but I'll do the math on it again. 60 tokens per copy, 4 copies to max it out. So 240 tokens. Every single set of 10 tokens, it costs 12,000 silver. 12,000 silver to get a battle pass weapon after the battle pass is over. How much is 12,000 silver, you may ask? $200 worth of silver to get a previous battle pass weapon maxed out. And that's just the copies. It's not talking about the superposed photons, which you need 7 of, which you will almost definitely have to purchase in the black market because they have a 1.5% drop chance on a pinnacle reward and a 4% drop chance on a weekly lockout. So if we add on those 7 superposed photons, so multiply that by 7, that's another 1,400 black market tokens, okay? And it's 1 silver per 100 black market tokens, so it's 1,400 silver. So with the leftover from the bonus, you'd have enough to get the superposed photons, but you still have to get the 390 weapon cores. So $200 for a maxed out exotic in this game. That is insane. I don't think that, like, this is just probably the worst possible thing that they could have done with the black market weapons. I'm gonna be completely honest. So that means if you don't get Trinity Ghoul this update and you wait to the next update, you would have to pay $200 to max out a 6-year-old Destiny 2 weapon. And that is just absolutely insane to me. You know, like, one of the new characters that they released this update, Rossi 11, you can just straight up get unlucky. You can do, like, I did 70 pulls on this banner. I got like 11 4-stars, and it was only Icors and Finales. It was on stream as well. So I did 70 pulls, not a single Rossi 11. Tier 1 Hell has, before I even get a Rossi, that's even if I pull. But I straight up, I not able to get Rossi 11. I can't get him in the shop either, because, like, you know, go to the Fortuna shop, he's not here. So one of the only actual pieces of content that got put into this game, Rossi 11 and his character quest, you just can get unlucky and just not get it. Like, you could potentially pull like tier 3 Hellhest and get 0 Rossis. Okay, and they specifically nerfed Mahamiri so that you won't be able to go through the expanse like normal. Like, you won't be able to use Ningfei on the piercing side, or at least not well. I mean, there's probably people who are just gonna do it anyway because Ningfei is still just that cracked. Let's see, Eternity. Yeah, I mean, like, people are struggling to get their sub 7 on Ningfei now because they specifically nerfed Mahamiri to work not as good in the expanse and Calamity Ops for this. I mean, most people are probably gonna use them on the rapid fire side regardless, but, you know, if you just didn't want Hellhest or didn't want to pull or build a piercing unit right now, then, well, sorry. It's just, I seriously cannot comprehend how they thought that this would be a good drop. And these aren't even really good events. These are essentially just like login events. This is basically just a login event where it's like do daily activities. It's basically just an extension of your daily bounties. And this is literally just T6 your Hellhest and you get more rewards. You get an extra 6 clusters for T6ing your Hellhest. You get an extra 6 clusters and an extra 2 Royal Contravenes, 20 cores, and an exotic mod, and like 100 freaking artifactual essences for T6ing your Hellhest. And everybody else doesn't get crap. And also, you know, if you want that final Royal Contravene, you gotta buy the skins. That cost silver. And comparing this to how it was for Estella got all of her rewards, like all of her bonus rewards, with the Efforts Rewarded event, which it was completely free. You didn't have to pulse a single time. It was literally just basically the same deal as right here. It just had the good rewards in it. Like, you get two incandescence clusters, and like, considering it's a really easy event, like, it's literally just log into the game essentially. When it comes to the new mythics in this game, the new mythic weapons, we got one bow, the Yoshimoto. That's it. One singular mythic weapon. That is the only new mythic weapon in this update. I honestly do not have words. This is, I mean, I hope the character quest is good. Everything else, it just kind of feels like a slap in the face to everybody. Like, this basically just tells me if you're not a whale, don't bother. Because, like, the whales, they don't need this. They don't need an event that gives them more rewards for whaling. They already have access to so many of the extra stuff through the black market, through the Pandora's deals on a daily basis. I really wanted this to be a good patch. It's just not it. I honestly don't really know what else to say. Okay, don't get me wrong. Like, the new character seems pretty fun. I wish I had materials to build her. I mean, I saved up a decent amount of stuff. Like, I can build her. Like, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, obviously, but at the same time, it's just, I'm gonna complete Calamity Ops, I'm gonna complete the Expanse, and then it's just like, now what? Now I just log in, do my dailies, log out. I've only got so many triumphs left to complete. I've only got so many seals left to chase. I've only got a couple new character quests, and I can't even play Rossi 11s because I didn't get it from the pulls. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't really have anything more to say on this update. If you're enjoying it, good for you, man. Good for you. Want to bring up the fact that we had to wait an extra hour and a half, I think it was. Yeah, like, or was it 2 hours? 2.5 hours? The maintenance was extended and we weren't even notified about it until it already happened. Yeah, that's about all I have to say on the Act 2 patch of Destiny Rising. Let me know if you are satisfied or dissatisfied with the update in the comments below. If you like Hellhest or if you like Rossi better, let me know in the comments below. If you're enjoying my coverage of this game and would like to see more of it, along with coverage of both Duet, Night Abyss, and Ananta, because I will be covering those games as well in the future, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more. And with that all out of the way, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all next time.